Hey guys, Matt here, Common Family Survival. Hope you're all staying safe during this weird times. Got a different video for you guys today. I am bringing you guys along with me. We are going to check out a new testing grounds. My other testing grounds I normally go to are pretty much occupied right now. It's turkey season here in Ohio. About weekend. I do believe the first week of turkey season, you're only allowed to hunt till noon, and then after that, you can hunt all day. And I think we're going into the all day. I'm not sure. All I know is people do turkey hunt the other areas I use for testing grounds and stuff. But I want to bring you guys with me. This is a new piece of property that I'm really not sure what all I'm going to run into. It's very remote, and there's probably upwards around, I'd have to say there's got to be 700-800 acres of wilderness, and it's landlocked in by private grounds, and those private grounds don't let very many people on them. And the only access point to this property really is a creek. So I have to, in the very beginning, I have to do a water crossing. It's got a lot of potential. Could be some rough ground. More likely it's going to be some rough ground. I was looking at the maps and stuff like that, and it definitely got some rough terrain. I am really looking forward to this. I'm excited because, like I said, this is a fresh new property. It looks like some really back country too, so which is really nice. I don't think this stuff has ever been really touched, which is awesome. And having a freshwater creek, access to that is just phenomenal. There's one downfall though. There is a shooting range close by, and so that in itself may make for interesting. I don't have to worry about being shot or anything, but there may be some noise pollution when it comes to hearing gunshots and stuff. This could be interesting. I'll try and give you some shots of the creek and everything. But, yeah, the water's a little higher than what it was the other day. So this could be interesting on whether or not I can get across or not. I'm hoping so. If not, this is going to suck. But, I don't know. I got to gear up and we'll see what happens. All right. See you shortly. All right, guys. Man, did that turn into a freaking... All right, so the creek crossing didn't go as I had planned. There was a shallow part that I thought, I come and scouted it yesterday. I thought, I got some wader boots, that go up past my knees that should work pretty good. Well, didn't take in consideration it rained all day yesterday and throughout the night last night. So the creek that I had to cross was actually a lot higher than what I expected. And it was muddy, so I couldn't really tell how deep it was, because there was a lot of spots that had pretty big rocks and stuff like that was throughout it too, that made it kind of difficult, so I couldn't see through there. Well, halfway through, it got a lot deeper than what I expected. Let's just say my butt is damp. The boots filled up with water. I started panicking because I had some things in my pocket. Stupid on my part, learning lesson. But I should have known better that, you know, I shouldn't have had all that stuff. I should have had that stuff in, especially for water crossing, waterproof bags. I was really scared at one point that, you know, I was going to pretty much, the current was going to take me and I was going to lose all my camping gear and everything. That was sketchy. Sketchy enough that I really don't want to go that way back. Which leaves me in kind of a predicament. I'm on this side now. And to give you a rough idea of what the water looks like, 1 second. I don't know if you can make it out down there or not, how fast moving that water is. But it's moving pretty good. It's moving pretty good, and it's moving enough to where I think it's still rising. So I'm in a little bit of a predicament. I can either say, all right, that's it, call it quits for now and recross, which I don't want to do that. Been really looking forward to doing this. It's a beautiful day. I really don't want to do that. Or I can hike my way out. I got a little ways of a hike to hike my way out. And I would have to follow the creek's edge, and it's going to take me a while. These woods are thick too. I mean, this is some proper bush. There ain't no ifs, ands, buts about it. This is some thick stuff. Now, one thing about it is I didn't realize it, but there seems to be an old road that actually traverses across this property. It's a little bit off the bank, as you can tell. That's what I'm standing on right now, because honestly, off this, it's so freaking thick that I honestly don't think I'd have a hard time filming. Like I said, this is a learning experience for me here, guys. I'm bringing you along with me. I don't know. Another thing that kind of sucks is if I'm gonna hike out, I gotta bring these stupid wading boots with me. I got them strapped to the back of my pack right now, and they are heavy. Oh man, are they heavy. Not something I would want to be hiking in, so my only choice is to freaking carry them. Not to mention they're insulated too, so I definitely don't want to put them on and hike in them. That kind of stinks. But I'm kind of, I'm not doing a lot of walking right now. I'm mainly just trying to figure out what I'm going to do. And like I said, you can see behind me. I don't know if you can see that or not. You see behind me, freaking terrain steep on this side. There's some areas that are pretty level-ish, I guess you could say. There's quite a few nice little camping spots and stuff, but it's definitely what I was wanting. I'd really like to find an area though close to the creek and everything that's more flatter. I don't know. There's a lot of areas around here that's pretty cool. A lot of this is tough. A lot of this is definitely some rough terrain. So I think I'm gonna head down this road a little bit. I don't know. I'm still up in the air what exactly I want to do. Definitely had to soak myself down with some bug dope, or mainly anti-tick stuff. My clothes are already treated with Sawyer, that Promethean. I think that's how you say it. And that stuff's phenomenal when it comes to ticks and things like that. I mean, I've treated a lot of stuff with it, but it is definitely tick season. And I'm making sure I'm taking every precaution on that. Just the other day, you know, here lately, me and my family been doing a lot of hiking. But hitting different trails, and trails I used to go to when I was younger. Me and my friends used to hike a lot, camp a lot. I still do, they don't so much. And but just the other day, just a couple days ago, you know, I ended up having to dig a tick off my wife. She had one on her, and it was bedded in, and it wasn't as warm as it is now. So ticks are definitely going to be out and about. They're bad around here anymore. They never used to be so bad, but for some reason they've really gotten really bad. I don't know why. And it's something definitely we take serious in our household. You know, just a lot of people don't know this. A few years ago, a member in my immediate family ended up having Lyme disease from a tick. And in our county, she was like, I want to say, can't remember what they said, first confirmed case of it in the county that we live in. I mean, the CDC called us asking questions, you know, and it was the year we had a really bad outbreak of really tiny larvae. And I mean, these things were like smaller than they were like a speck. So they were really easy to miss. We never found a tick on her, and we always practice, you know, check everybody out and everything. But just goes to show you that, you know, how easy it is to get that. And we had no idea until the person came down with the rash, and it wasn't your normal bullseye rash, you know, around the bite. It was bullseye rashes all over their body. So, I mean, that was a pretty freaky thing. And to tell you how rare of it was around here, you know, we immediately took the person to the emergency room because we didn't know what was going on. I mean, I've never seen a rash like that in my entire life. It was giant circles, and they weren't hives, but they were like giant circles all over the body. And they were like, the circles were big enough they were touching each other. So it looked like a weird camo pattern, I guess you could say. I mean, I flipped as a parent. I flipped whenever I was like, what is that? And but to give you any idea how rare it is and everything, took the emergency room, they didn't even know what was going on. They were kind of freaking out about it. I mean, they had to get into the medical books to try and figure out what exactly was happening. And we got lucky. There was a physician on duty at that time who just dealt with that not long ago in a different county or something. I'm not sure how it worked out, but in the end, he knew what it was and was able to identify. And luckily, that was an early symptom. So she was able to be treated, make full recovery of it. You know, that got really lucky on that. You know, if it wouldn't have been for that rash, then not everybody comes down with the rash. That's the kind of the scary thing about it. Is not everybody comes down with it. So you can end up having it and end up getting an advanced case and not even know it. So yeah, I'm a little paranoid when it comes to Lyme disease for reasons. Trail I found through here ain't bad at all. Like I said, it definitely is some tough going in through here, but looks like we got a game trail that I'm following along. This definitely ain't no beginner territory. That's for sure. But yeah. Ooh. Looks like it flattens out down that way along the creek. That's perfect what I'm looking for. Something along the creek. Really liking that. But I got a trail that goes along the bank here. I don't know if you can see that or not. That's pretty cool. Really a neat set of property. Now you might hear in the distance a little bit of traffic roar and stuff like that. I'm not really close. I mean, there is a town over, but I am up on, this is kind of like a valley, and it seems like that's echoing. You know, I'm kind of out in the sticks here, so I'm not really worried about it too much. The top of this hill is really calling me. I keep looking up there because it looks pretty cool up there. But honestly, I don't want to carry this pack up that way. I wasn't really looking forward to mountain climbing. Maybe if I got a little bit more sleep, it wasn't. I think I'm running on like 4 hours sleep. That's my own fault, but looks like there's really a beautiful area down through here, but it looks like it's going to be a little tricky getting down through here. I'm only a quarter way up on the side of this hill, but I don't know, if I go down, that means I gotta go all the way back up. I don't know, I may save the top of that for a different time. Right now, I gotta worry about just making sure I get out of here, because I do have a long haul ahead of me, unfortunately. I gotta hike, like I said, all the way. I think that's what I am gonna do though. Just work my way. Man, this roots along this trail. I'm gonna work my way along this creek. Oh, I gotta sneeze. Work my way along this creek edge. Head all the way down. Hit the road. And I'm gonna have to take the road all the way around back to my vehicle, which is gonna be a nightmare. Definitely. I'm glad I packed for an all day adventure. But one thing I did not pack, which I actually took out at the last minute, I kind of regret that I did that, is I had a nice tarp packed in and everything, just in case, you know, I needed to stay overnight, or if it started raining. And honestly, I'm kind of regretting taking that out the last minute. I looked at the weather at the last minute, see no rain. I thought, I don't need that. I wanted to save weight, so I took that out. Like I said, I'm kind of regretting that right now. Man, this is a cool area. This is a really neat little area here. I'll show you here. Nice little flat spot here along the bank. Trees. Goes up. There's flat up there. I mean, this is a neat this is just a cool spot, a cool area. Sorry if I'm a little shaky and everything. I have another camera too that I don't know if you've seen it or not. Hopefully it's still back here. Yeah, I have a tripod, but mainly I wanted to use that for bee footage, I guess you could say. But it's more fancier and stable, and I'll be honest with you, how rough this is and everything, I got a feeling it get tore up in this environment. It's pretty rough going here. This isn't your normal, man, this is a cool area. This isn't your normal kind of trail hiking. I mean, I'm definitely off trail using game trails. It's not like I'm on a national park or anything like that. One of the biggest things I'm doing is looking for, ooh, that looks like a dent. That's kind of, that definitely looks like a dent. I'll show you what I'm looking at here. See what I'm seeing? That definitely looks like a dent up there. Now, in saying that, this is a cool spot. We have had bears come through here, black bears, actually through this specific area and everything. And they didn't stay though. Those bears were tagged and they're tracking them and everything else and moving, you know, migrating north. A lot of the bears are doing that. But we do have a very large population of coyotes, fox, we do have some larger cats that have been known. People argue with me about that, but I have heard larger cats in this general area. So I don't really care what what they say. This is a really cool area though. Only bad thing is it looks like this does tend to flood when the water is too high. I mean, it's right up on underneath the trees here. So it does look like it tends to flood. It is kind of muddy. I'll show you. Definitely is muddy. Like I said, you can see definitely tends to flood through here. It's a nice area if it was a little drier. A lot drier actually. It's really muddy. Not a bad area. I like it. One of the biggest things I'm doing today is scouting for possible camping spots. You know, overnight, multiple day overnight. I just ordered a new sleep system. That's going to be probably a couple weeks before I get that, but from pretty much our entire sleep system, but hammock system, war bonnet, and definitely pricey. I ain't gonna you'll never hear me argue that fact that it's not pricey, but as far as one of the best sleep systems out there, I've done my research, done my homework. I've owned many different types of sleep systems and stuff, and that is up on top of the list in my opinion. It is one of the best for that simple fact. But this is a nice spot. All right, I'm gonna take a break here real quick. I want to pull up a map and I want to get a rough idea of where I'm at. Kind of get a game plan, because I need to figure some stuff out. So I'll be right back. All right, not gonna believe what I just found. And look at the game trail going in there. And game trail coming around here. That is definitely some kind of den. I don't want to get too close. I don't really feel like getting bit. That's either a fox or I'd say a coyote. But look at this. Just heard something scrambling. I don't want to be pissing around too much. Excuse my language. I really don't want to get bit by something. This looks like a freaking cave. Keep an eye on this other hole. I found a cave. I do not have a firearm on me. It's got me a little weirded out right now. Don't know how deep that is or how far the back end that goes, but honestly, that is not common in this area. I can honestly say that's not common to find in this area. And maybe it is around where you live, but that's on the front camera. Not where I live. As a matter of fact, I'm going to back off. Because that's very large. That's actually big enough for something substantial to den up in. And I'm not sure what. I don't think I want to find out. Not with having a lack of some type. I mean, I do have a knife on me, but I really don't feel like demonstrating my hand-to-hand skills at this time. At least not this early in the video. But yeah. And there was something stirring around inside. I mean, it could be a possum or a coon. But I don't want to take the chance. Pretty cool. Pretty cool. Moving on. Now you might be asking yourself, why is he scared of a raccoon or a possum? Well, just within the last year or two, we've had a major outbreak of rabies with the raccoon population. A lot of people don't hunt raccoons anymore like they used to. There's a squirrel. And it's become a problem. The population of them is exploded to the point where, you know, they're a very bad nuisance and diseases run rampant amongst them. But definitely rabies has gotten to be so bad as to the point where they were in the surrounding counties dropping like bait bags that had vaccine in them for the rabies. Yeah, that's how bad it was. So I mean, to give you any kind of idea, and an animal that's affected with rabies ain't normally thinking too clearly. So to take that chance of, you know, they're mean. They can get really mean. And if you get bit, you go through a series of shots. And from what I understand, it's like 3 shots in the stomach. Very painful. Not something I really want to go through. I really don't want to add that to my list of resume of experiences in life. Would you? You know, another thing I gotta be very mindful of is snakes. You know, I hate snakes. I'm just gonna come right out and tell everybody, I hate snakes. There ain't too many things that bug me. I don't like snakes. Now, I don't like them. I'm not terrified of them. I don't have a phobia or anything like that. But in this type of terrain with, you know, the rocks and shallows and all that, we do have copperheads. They're not, they've been seen around, but how do I want to put it? They're here, but they're not in abundance, I guess you could say, you know. But something definitely keep an eye out for with these temperatures. You know, it's mid 50s right now. It's warming up. Everything's coming out. Everything's warming up. Yeah, this is a good time for them to be out sunning. Just rather not in this situation here, because honestly, I'm in an area that would be very hard to get to if something happened. I have to be very mindful. I don't know if you notice, I've been cutting in and out. There's been some trickier areas that I've had to navigate through, some trails along the banks and stuff like that that had a lot of roots, good slippery spots, good places to produce mechanical injuries, to put it in a technical term. And for everybody that don't know what mechanical injury is, twist my ankle. So, but yeah, like I said, the path kind of blended away, but it's a nice little flat spot through here. This is definitely an area, you look around, it's a pretty wide area, but it's kind of an overflow, a flood area, I guess you could say. There's a lot of little pools from where it flooded. It must have flooded through here pretty recently, actually. I don't say within the last couple days, but there's still a lot of like standing water puddles that are actually pretty deep. But this is not somewhere I would want to make camp, you know, for a long term, because this is definitely an area that could experience some pretty flash floods. It looks pretty prolific that does happen. There are freaking squirrels everywhere out here. This is really, I've seen so much stuff already in this little short trip. I've seen some deer, I've seen squirrel, I've seen ducks, I've seen goose, I've seen dens, I've heard critters. Not sure exactly what it was, but there was definitely a critter in that hole. It's definitely different. This is definitely a swamp area. I'll show you what I'm looking at here. This area all through here, like I said, it's pretty damp. A lot of little muddy areas and stuff, but you see all that stuff that looks like cabbage. I'm not 100% sure what the technical name for that stuff is, but I know growing up we used to always call it skunk cabbage. I don't know if that's the proper term or not, but I'm hoping I'm not walking myself into a really bad area here. I'm really praying I'm not walking myself into a swampy freaking bog. That would suck. It's definitely squishy. Like I said, this skunk cabbage stuff only grows in really damp areas and everything, where it predominantly stays wet a lot of times. So this is definitely some. Glad it's not a little warmer, or the bugs would be eating me alive. But I do have, you know, repellent on, so I ain't too worried about that. I have a repellent, and then my clothes are treated also with that Sawyer. So even then, sometimes that don't even give you enough relief. So hard to really say. I actually got away from the creek a little bit. I don't like that. But it seems to be a little thicker that way. I need to stay close to that creek. Using the creek as a way to guide myself. I don't know what I'm coming up on. It's a little drier over here. It must be a little higher. I know when I sit down to take a break for lunch, I might have to definitely readjust this pack. Wasn't planning on having these giant boots hanging off the back of them. Man, they really added a lot of weight to the pack. I just had light stuff. I mean, for the most part, what I have in my pack is just, you know, stuff for lunch. I even brought something in case I was out here till dinner time, which might be a smart thing now, I've come to think of it. But might have to reorganize stuff, maybe put some stuff on my person, you know. Well, one thing I worried about was actually running out of flat bank along the creek. And I think it might have just happened. It looks pretty steep. I don't think I can shimmy along the creek edge all the way down there. I know I looked at the map and it looked like it kind of flattened out. I don't know, I might be able to. I don't know, that looks like a freaking high wall right there. This could suck. Oh man, that was some treacherous ground. So, as I suspected, the creek bank ended. And what I mean, when I say ended, I mean right into a freaking high wall. Probably about 80-foot high wall. And there's no bank. So I had to, it was either go all the way back a long ways to get up on the ridge top, or try and traverse right beside the high wall. I did it. Boy, was that sketchy. That was beyond sketchy, actually. It was kind of dangerous. Back in my younger days, I used to do a lot of rock climbing, rappelling, and stuff like that. I was in shape back then. I am not in that kind of shape anymore. What made it really sketchy was halfway up there, I didn't realize it, but there was spring coming out of there. So all the roots were like rotted, and then on top of the roots being rotted, it was mud. So I started slipping, grab hold of some roots, trying to stay. Those were letting go. Not to mention I got these stupid boots swinging around, snagging stuff. Just could have went bad fast. This is definitely a nice flat, but I'm not going to go back down to the creek edge, excuse me, until I know for sure that there's going to be a nice little path along the edge there. So I really don't want to go up that hill like that again. That sucked. All right, guys, I'm taking a break. This has been tough going. Pretty much lost river's edge, creek's edge, I guess you could say. And it's turned into, the camera ain't giving it no justice behind me. That looks pretty calm. Honestly, it's not. We're on a steady, gradual slant this whole way. This whole expedition turned into a freaking mountain hike. Not something I was really prepared for, but you gotta adapt. I'm having fun. Wanted to get out, explore, and I'm achieving it. And I'm still having fun. I'm probably about, you know, I came up with the game plan to, you know, ixnay crossing the creek, and I didn't know what I was getting into. And topographic maps only show you so much. Doesn't really show you the true terrain, I guess you could say. Just shows you the elevation. So, you know, live and learn. Hopefully the wind's okay and you can hear me all right. I found a beautiful spot that would at least be able to take a nice little break. It's overlooking the water, can hear the nice water. Hopefully the wind though is coming at me, so hopefully it's not messing up the audio for you guys and you guys can still hear me pretty good. But I did bring a chair. I got a little pack chair, a Sportneer pack chair. It was either that or a tarp, and at this point I'm so glad I brought the chair, because it's nice just to take the pack off and actually sit down and actually sit, relax. Because like I said, this turned into more than what I expected, but I can't complain. I'm pretty happy. I'm actually really happy with how it's going and everything. I found a lot of good areas, but for potential camp spots, a couple day camp spots and stuff. And yeah, I'm really liking this area. A lot of wildlife. I can hunt, I can fish. You know, I'm really liking that. That makes a big deal, you know. But I am gonna take a nice little lunch break here, and I had a couple things I wanted to do, but I'm not going to be able to achieve them. I had a couple pieces of gear I wanted to test out. That's just not going to happen. Not with being along the creek's edge. You know, I had a couple like emergency or fishing things I wanted to try. You know, it just ain't going to happen. To get down in the creek, I gotta go way down, and then to get out of here I gotta go way back up, so that makes a huge difference. Not to mention there's nowhere to stand down there. There's nowhere. That is, I don't know, like I said though, that leaves options for next time, so can't really complain too much. But hope you guys are liking this adventure so far. Like I said, I know it's not what I normally do, but it is what it is, right? But for lunch, I am actually testing this out. It's new to me at least. They've been around for a while. I have the Firebox stove, the stainless steel version. This is actually the titanium version. And so far, I'm loving it. The weight on this is phenomenal. I mean, the thing, I don't have the specs right offhand, so you guys got to bear with me on that. I wasn't really doing a gear review about this. This is more of a test. I've done a couple initial burns on it, but nothing major. But yeah, it's super lightweight, super nice. Full dried out, folds down in, and you have a nice little stove. And what I really like about this stove, it's got a little ashtray that fits in there too. But what I personally really like about this stove is the simple fact that it's multi-fuel. You can use wood, you can use charcoal, you can use what I'm going to use is Trans alcohol stove. This is the Self-Reliance Pathfinder alcohol stainless steel stove. I like it. And fuel. That's why I said there's a few things in my pack that's made it a little heavier than what it would normally be. I can't really complain too much about that. I mean, I have my secondary camera. I don't think I'm going to break it out because it'd just be too much to be able to, you know, film, move. This is just too rough going, you know, at least for that style of footage. I don't know. We'll see. I'm not planning on taking it out, I guess you could say. This is pretty much turned into a, I gotta get out of here, you know, not in that big of a hurry, but in all honesty, this could have turned into a bad situation. If that water would have been a little bit colder, of course, I could have just turned around and went back, you know, I wasn't far from the truck. I gotta move some stuff around here. Alright, so I got the stove lit up. So like I said, that's how I'm using it. And the reason I'm using this boil plate in this configuration is because I'm going to be using Can you hear me? I'm going to be using this. This is a collapsible, pretty cool little product. Once you get it all put together. This thing folds into a collapsible little pail. And I figured this is mainly used, it's got a metal end, but these ends they're heat resistant, but they're not heat, you know, fireproof, I guess you could say. So, I might be in trouble. So I'm pretty sure that went out. Getting a little too curious, buddy. Yeah, you're getting too curious. Yeah, I'm right here. See, all the families are out and enjoying themselves. Here they go. How freaking cool was that? I was just kind of sitting here chilling out, and I don't even know where they came from. The camera's a little off. Give me a second here. That was neat. That was cool. I was just sitting here chilling out, kind of in my own thoughts, getting my lunch ready. Speaking of that, stir it up. But I just heard that was cool. That first one was a button buck. I don't know if you've seen the little nubs on him or not, but he was a little bit too curious. He couldn't figure out what I was. And honestly, I didn't want to startle him to the point where he'd do something stupid. I'm not saying he would, but the day I'm having, you never know. It'd be my luck to get beat to death by a button buck. But it was cool. Like I said, I was just sitting here kind of in my thoughts, thinking about this whole adventure and everything, things to talk about, and heard some footsteps and happened to look right over the edge. I mean, it's right freaking there, you know. And that's when they come around and circled up or back around and went up that way. But that was neat. That's what I love. That honestly, that right there made this whole nightmare worth it. That was cool. But trying to get some coffee brewed up. So I got that sitting. That's got to sit up for about another 10 minutes or so before I can start eating it. And then make some coffee. But I definitely need some go-go juice for the remainder of my day, that's for sure. Yeah, I got some new products. Well, I shouldn't say new products. But I was really wanting to get a lot of footage of using and everything else. And honestly, this day turned into all about of pretty much just explore it and go. You know, there's quite a few neat little things that I've gotten a hold of here lately that I wanted to show you guys, but I guess that's just going to be next time. Yeah, blue herring just flew by on the creek down there. Yeah. You know, honestly, for everything that's went on and happened and everything, you know, kind of changed the whole day, I can't complain. This has been a nice little outing. It's needed this. Now, I can honestly say, you know, I've been doing a lot of hiking and a lot of with the family, and that's been just phenomenally great. I couldn't ask for any more with them, you know, on doing that stuff. That's something I grew up doing and loving. I mean, really grew up loving doing is hiking and backpacking, kayaking, canoeing, and it's my roots. You know, that's what I grew up doing. And well, I got some stories I can tell you, but I think we'll save some of them stories for next time. Next time we're on the trail. But I hope you guys are liking the video so far. Like I said, not my normal video. Alright guys, I'm going to take a little bit of a break here and eat some grub. I am starved for the win. I'll be back in a little bit. I think I'm on the trail that deer took. Definitely can hear a lot more of the town noises down here. Gone a couple miles. I know I've gone a couple miles. I mean, it's a nice trail through here. See something moving up. I don't know if that was deer up there or, yeah, there's more deer. I'll never get the shot of it to show you. Yeah, definitely more deer. Definitely some a lot heavier game trails around here. Makes it a little easier at least to walk around. You know, the animals tend to take the path of least resistance. But all in all, I'm really glad I got a chance to do this. For the most part, it's been a really learning lesson. Mainly for equipment wise. You know, what I need to do, make things handier. You know, kind of got a rough idea. Bear with me, guys. It's gonna take me a little while to get all the bugs worked out of, you know, I'm not a professional. Anybody who will ever see my channel knows that. Self-taught when it comes to all the editing and camera and audio and all that stuff. So what would take a professional probably 2 minutes to fix, takes me hours. But like I said, there's definitely a learning curve when it comes to all this stuff. And you know, that was another reason why I never did any of this sooner. I had to focus so heavily on the studio equipment. A lot of that equipment I can't use out here. You know, I really can't use it on the trail, and not to mention it's not made for the outdoors, if anything. That's been one of the biggest battles is, you know, what do I do if this happens? Well, kind of screwed. Well, kind of figured out what that noise was. Sounds like it's a railroad train going by or something on the tracks. Probably it's pretty freaking loud. But I am coming up to the road that I am going to take to get back to my truck from where I started. But I'm not going to film walking on the road. I really don't want to be that guy that's walking down the road filming himself. Especially around here. People might not take too kindly to it. So, I'll catch back in with you guys when I get to the truck, hopefully. If anything happens exciting between now and then, I'll let you know. Later. Well, as you guys can see, I made it. It's amazing, but I did. What a long freaking trek that was. That turned in a lot longer than what I expected it to be. But I made it. You know, I definitely wanted to get out and explore, and I definitely got my bargain's worth there. But I hope you guys enjoyed this video, and if you're not a subscriber, subscribe. Do me a favor and hit that like down below. And yeah, hopefully we got some more of these coming your way. I really hope everybody likes this and can see that I'm working to bring more content, new content to the channel. So if you're an old subscriber, thanks for sticking with me. If you're a new subscriber, welcome to the channel. Hey guys, that's it for today. We'll catch you later.